Do you know people that have had this happen to them? Where
Yeah.
you just know they didn't do it, but they had so many witnesses cooperating, it just didn't matter.
I got a friend that been in prison over 30 years for something he did not do right now. Yeah.
What was he convicted of?
Murder, 2 murders. He actually is convicted. His friend got shot while he got shot. He convicted for his friend murder. Yeah. My man Earl Jefferson. Yeah, my man Vlad.
Sorry to hear that. Did he?
30 years. He's still fighting right now to get his freedom.
At the time that he was charged, did he know who actually did the murder?
I'm not that versed on all the details. He explained it to me, but I got a lot going on.
Okay, got it.
I just know it was a shootout. He got hit. His friend got killed. And then later on, some people went and took care of some more business because the dude got killed. And he got that body and another body, yeah. 50 years.
Damn.
50 to life.
Now, could he have cooperated against the people that were actually doing the shooting?
I don't know, and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if that. I don't know.
Well, because one of my Vlad TV YouTube members, Andrew Karyuki 7231, he had a question for you. He said, "Do you love your kids more than the streets? If so, would you cooperate with authorities if they try to falsely charge you with a crime that you were completely innocent of that could potentially put you in jail for the rest of your life, or would you stay loyal to the streets?"
I'm not loyal to no street.
Okay. But do you understand the gist of the question?
I understand it. That's one of those questions. It's hard because I'm not loyal to no street. Definitely. We've been out of the street a long time. I'm not out here pumping. I'm the illest street nigga in the world. I'm a street nigga. I'm a street nigga. I'm a street nigga because what do being a street nigga actually really get you?
Nothing.
Pain, scars.
Jail.
Right? Jail. Wounds. A lifetime of ups, downs, and it's just more turmoil than than anybody would want to really address. But me and my friends ask those questions all the time to each other, fucking with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
And how do you usually answer it?
We do. Like, so we'll be like, yo, so if you out of town and you see on your camera somebody is breaking in your house and you got your kids in there, what do you do? These are all questions that these hypothetical questions.
You mean like call the police or not?
Right, would you call the police?
You wouldn't call the police if
First
your
of
kids
all,
were in the house?
We never really
danger?
answered this question because we like a lot of this shit is not, we're not putting ourselves in the position for this to happen.
Okay.
Right? So these are questions that are super hypothetical, but for niggas that still feel like they hold a certain level of principles, right? I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm going to tell the police.
Well, look, this is a situation with someone that we both know, right? My son. I don't know if you heard this part of his story, but years before I met him, there was a situation where he was with his friends and his friends beat up this cab driver. The cab driver, now at the time he was signed to Violator, he had a hot song out, he was anticipated to come out, be the next hot artist out of New York, et cetera, et cetera. So he's hanging out with his friends, a cab driver gets beat up, the cab driver ends up pointing him out of the lineup. He gets charged with this assault. He knows who did it, but those are his friends and he's got a street code. So he remains silent. He gets 7 years.
What, but was he a part of some sort of?
All the conversations I had with him off camera, he always said, I was not the one who did it.
I'm gonna give you one.
Well, no, let me just finish, right? So he ends up doing 7 years. Loses the record deal, of course. I think he had a newborn son at the time, so he misses those years raising his son. Comes out, and I'm like, what about those guys? Did they ever come forward to say, because yeah, we had some conversations, but they never came forward and say, listen, we did it, he didn't do anything. So he had to do his whole stretch, comes out, he has to start his life over. Record deal's gone, never materializes, and he has to figure out his way. Like me personally, I don't agree with what he did. I would have gone the other way. I'd have been like, listen, if y'all don't step up, I'm not going to jail for y'all.
Stop putting yourself in. Let me give you this other version of that.
Okay.
Because if you're in the street, you're really in the street. Sometimes that thing that you go to jail for may not be for what you might have done in that situation. But what about all of the things that you got away with? What about all the shit that you did that you didn't go to jail for? So sometimes your karma comes in a different way. You feel me? What about all the drilling you've been doing that you have not been caught for? So sometimes that karma comes in a different way. I had a childhood friend, Emil McDowell, was at a house party many, many years ago. It was an argument, bunch of grandstanding, dude beefing, fight break out, gun got brandished, somebody get killed. He got blamed for the killing. He didn't do it. He did not do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was sentenced to 20, 22 years or whatever.
Whew.
He knew who did it. He fought his way out, taught himself law, fought his way out, did about 12 years, I think, roughly 12, 13 maybe. And now is practicing law. He's practicing law in a major way, right? So he can't get his degree, he can't get his license, but he's definitely a paralegal. He works for one of the biggest firms in New York City.
Yeah, that's great.
So
but
when my whole
those
thing
12 years are still lost.
100%. But
Yeah.
my whole thing is this: don't negate the fact that, yeah, that in that instance you may be going to jail for something that you didn't do, but are you really an innocent person? Have you ever took life before? Have you ever done things before in this world right here? Now, if you're a totally innocent person, void of all criminal and conduct and crime behavior, then we talking about something totally different. But if you playing in this game and you out here shooting, you gotta factor that in too.
Okay, so let's just say right now we turn off all the cameras and I brutally beat up my cameraman Spencer right here. Mm-hmm. But he goes to police and said Maino did it. Would you snitch on me?
Would
you say that Vlad did it?
You're gonna tell them, Vlad, that you did it. You're gonna be honest and say that you did it. Because you're an honest guy.
I am so scared to go to prison,
yeah, but you're
and I'd rather have
guy.
you hate me than go to prison.
No.
Because I'm a coward, right?
No.
And I'm not going to say nothing.
You're so much of an honest guy. You're like, I'm not going to let Maino go to jail for something I did. I did it. That's how that's going to go.
That's how it's going to go?
That's how it's going to go.
Okay, but let's just say it doesn't go that way. Would you say, officer, actually Vlad did it, and I'm going to explain to you how he did it? You wouldn't snitch on me? I'd expect you to snitch on me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
And it's one
I
of
wouldn't
those,
be mad if you snitched on me because I did it.
It's one of those questions. It's these hypothetical questions that leads you to the point, well, nigga, what you gonna do? Right? We ask those questions. This is what me and my friends do. Because we all older now. We out the game. We out the street and we out here doing bigger things and we got businesses and we got things happening. So we sit there and say, you know, are we still holding on to these street values, right? But one thing I'm just won't do is just sit up here and tell you I'm going to call the police on you. I'm not going to tell you I'm calling the police on you.
I'm not saying you're going to call the police on you.
I'm
But
not
when the
telling
police
the
go
police
to
on
arrest
you.
you, are you going to say, I didn't do it? And they'll say, okay, then who did?
You're not gonna let
No
that
comment.
happen. You're not gonna let that happen.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Before we leave, after you whip his ass and beat his bloody, I'm gonna say, Vlad, now you know. You better let them fucking people know that this is your work right here.
I'm sorry, Spencer. I had to use you as an example right here. My bad, Spencer. Sorry.
It's a good guy here. Yeah. Let them people know this your work, man.